are going to do the first of two. Thank you, Blood Bros. We are going to start off with Scott. That he's going to be testing the durability of the Glock A-Cut. Which, I'm not sure what the A-Cut of a Glock, Glock is. I've never heard that. I don't know if the A-Cut is like a model of the Glock or not. No, not cups, Canito, cut. A-Cut. Digipirate. I saw it when we watched the last Scott video. I saw this, so I'm kind of curious. I mean, he's testing the durability of a Glock, which is he's done something like this before. It's a new Glock 19. Okay, like he's tested Glock durability before, but in a different way. I think he may actually full on abuse the Glock here. Before the Glocks he did before, he just like buried them in either mud or ice or in the pond or whatever. I'm thinking he's gonna like physically beat the shit out of them and test their durability. So I'm curious. How tough is the Glock? Let's find out.
What's up, everybody? My name is Scooter, and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics. And today, we're gonna try out the new Glock. Nobody likes eggplant. Ow! I think I broke my foot.
That's not an eggplant.
Oh, yeah. I am such a good shot. I hate tables.
Scooter?
Hello? Post Malone? Yes, I'd love to hang out with you. It's watermelon time. I love random aggression.
Did you guys just notice something? Did you guys just notice that? You notice it like I did? Like, number one, he did not actually kick an eggplant. That was not an eggplant he kicked, that was a squash. But notice what's missing here.
Melon time.
Wait.
I love
Anybody notice what's missing? Huh? Did you catch it? Come on, tell me you caught it, chat. No?
It's watermelon time.
No squawk. No chicken squawk from the chicken abuse. Normally when Scott beats his rooster, it's squawk. He puts in the squawk sound effect every time he beats his rooster. No squawk. Aha.
I love random aggression against flightless birds.
Exactly, DJ.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! You stupid dinosaur! I ain't sleepyhead. Hey, we need your help. Come on. Scott wants to shoot a porta potty, and we need someone to crawl underneath it and pull the plug and drain out all the duty water. Okay. I'll get right on it. All right. See you in a minute.
Poor Scooter. He's been dreaming about his hero being his hero Scott. Scooter wants to just be like Scott, chat. Sweet. He's not an imposter. He wants to be like his hero.
How did I get up here? What's up, everybody? My name is Scott, and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a little bit of a Glock fanboy. I really enjoy Glocks. My whole law enforcement career, that's all I ever carried, and maybe that is why I am partial to Glock. Another reason would be is I have
Yeah.
torture tested the absolute snot out of these things, and they just keep running. Something else you may not know.
Actually, I'm already seeing a bit of a design. I think I'm seeing a bit of a design difference in the slide. Okay, chat, am I crazy? Or is there a bit of a design difference with this model in the front and in the grip? Am I crazy, or is there a new design change in these two areas? And Ryget, thank you for the tier 1. Yeah, the front slide serrations. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, Kaival, fair. The red dot is built into the slide. Ah, the front sight post. Yeah, there is a different front sight there. The optic, I mean, this obviously isn't built in. Although I don't recall, it looks like it actually has rails set up for an optic. And beveling on the fronts. Yeah, yes, right here. That's what I was thinking. Right at the front of the slide, it looks like it's beveled versus squared off. Yeah, okay. So new little design. Okay, so I'm not I thought it looked different style.
May not know about me is I'm not a huge fan of having a red dot on my carry gun, and I really don't know why, other than I guess I'm just an old soul. But I'm open to it, and here recently I came across this. This is the new Glock 19 with the A cut and comes with aim points COA red dot. Glock is now...
Wait, it comes with a built-in optic? It's a Glock with a built-in optic. Seriously? Wow. Well, okay, I know you have concerns. The irons are still there. The irons are still in place, so you can use irons in addition to the red dot. I know exactly where your concern is. And my guess is there probably is a quick release to remove it. I'm guessing the A cut is referring to the cut in the slide here at the back for the optic. Well, Silver, it's probably you're like Scott. You're an old soul where you're just used to iron sights. I'm the same way. I have never used an optic on a handgun or I've never used an optic on a handgun or a rifle. I have always used iron sights. It would if I used a handgun with
So
with
a 5th
optics,
gen Glock 19 MOS just with a built-in red dot.
very possible, Red. It's I don't know. Does the 19 MOS have this cut on the back of it, or is that why it's called the A cut because it has the cut built for the optic? Yeah, I've never used an optic. I've always used iron sights, and I'm a pretty decent shot with iron sights. So I think if I were to be handed a firearm with an optic, it would feel really fucking weird the first time I shot it because I'm not used to using optics. And it's, it would take a little bit of learning because I would naturally try to facilitate a iron sight picture, and using the optic, trying to get a sight picture with the optic would probably feel really weird for me. So I'm just like Scott in that regard. It's like I've always been iron sights. I'm not opposed to optics. I'd be curious to try it. I just never had the opportunity.
Glock is now selling this as a package deal, and you get all of this right out of the box. But I have a slight issue with that. You are taking my favorite Glock, the Glock 19, the workhorse of semi-automatic handguns, and now you're putting something on top of it that I'm not really sure about. Is this going to be able to hold up to the kind of torture that this gun can hold up to?
Uh-huh.
Today we're going to find out.
That is a valid question.
It is supposed to be pretty tough, and the way it's mounted is pretty tough. This is the A cut, and as you can see, this optic is slipped down into the frame of, not the frame, it's a slide. It's a slide. I'm stupid. This is the A cut, and as you can see, this optic slips down into the slide of the Glock, and instead of all of the pressure from the recoil being on screws, it's going directly to the optic within the slide. And then it's held down with these two screws, which is also your rear sight. You can co-witness through there with your irons.
Wait. Okay, yeah, there's the rear iron sights. Okay, so I'd love to see. What I'm curious about is, are the irons raised enough? Okay. It looks like the irons might be raised just enough, so if your optic fails, you could still iron sight through the optic. Huh? Is that what co-witness means? Okay, I haven't heard that. I'm not familiar with that term. I have not heard that term, so okay, that's what it means. Okay. That would be a drain for me. Because my opinion, you guys have heard me, my opinion is you always want to be able to fall back on your irons in case the optic fails, for whatever reason. If it's a piece of electronics, it can fail. So I always want to be available to immediately transition to irons, and if this allows you to immediately transition to iron sights, I like it. I like that a lot.
Screws, which is also your rear sight. You can co-witness through there with your iron sights, and this thing is supposed to be submergible and whatnot because it's completely enclosed. Blobbity, blobbity, blobbity. It's futuristic technology that I do not trust, and today we're gonna find out whether I'm gonna keep carrying with iron sights or am I gonna step into the future. So here's the thing, you get this right out of the box with the red dot on it, but do you need to sight it in? How accurate is it right out of the box?
I'd say you'd want to sight it in.
Because normally if I buy a Glock 19 and it doesn't have a red dot on it and it's just the iron sights, I don't have to sight those in. I sound like such an old man right now. Okay, let's see. Here's our still target. I'm about 15 yards away. I'm aiming dead center. All right.
That's dead on. Chat, he's dead on. Can you see that? There's his bullet strikes. He's aiming dead center, and his bullet strikes are dead center. He is dead on out of the box. Dead on. You can see the discoloration right there. Wow, that's impressive. Sighted bang on, right in the, out of the box. I like it.
Let's go have a look. Yep, that's pretty much where I was aiming. Okay, well that answers that question right out of the box. The red dot, pretty darn accurate. I don't even know how much I would need to adjust that. So now we are going to do a drop test, mostly dropping it directly onto the optic. I'm going to drop it on this mushy ground, and then I have a concrete block, and I have a piece of steel. As you can see, the gun is unloaded. I will have a mag in it though, with Underwood ammo, 115 grain full metal jackets. I just don't have it chambered. So right on the optic.
There we go, that's a good one. Secondary test.
This is why we do this. Look at that. Ow! Got mud in my barrel.
Is he going to shoot it out?
Good. Let's see if it's still accurate. Here we go. All right.
Still looks accurate to me.
Big deal. How about concrete? We are unloaded, mag in it. Ah, that was bad.
Oh, that was a solid
That was bad. Didn't do nothing to it though. Let's do it again.
Ooh, solid drop. I wish we could get some slow-mos. Give me some slow-mos on this, Scott.
Okay. I would say that's probably enough. Didn't really do any damage to the optic.
No?
I'm actually kind of surprised. Still see my dot.
Yo, it makes everybody cringe,
see
Grim.
here.
It was making Scott cringe. Looks like it's still bang on.
Starting to think that maybe the future is not so bad. Okie dokie. Nothing in there. Got us a mag. Piece of AR 500 steel.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that was a song.
Talking about ringing that steel, huh? How about way up here? Oh,
Infa.
oh,
That
sideways.
stunk.
Oh, look at that. It
Wow.
was breakdancing. Woo, boink,
God.
boink, sideways, boink.
Blinked. Chat. Scott likes to blink. He likes to blink, chat.
One more. Okay. I smacked it against that.
Are you sure you want to put me in the cage with him? He does like to blink. Hello.
That steel, I lost count. Maybe a little excessive, but I'm a really destructive person, so it needs to be tough. You got some marks
There.
right here. Maybe took a little bit of the
finally
coating
did
off
some
of
marks.
it. All this over here looks good. This looks
Yeah.
good. My glass isn't broken or cracked or anything like that.
That's good.
Buttons still work. Also, this thing is supposed to have a 5-year battery life. Let's see if it's
Nice.
still accurate. Still held at
So, I have a question for those of you that are familiar with the site. Is the site just permanently turned on? And it has just basically, it has like a 5-year battery life of just constant use? Am I correct on that? Or do you actually have to turn it on and off? You did mention something about a button? Okay, I'm getting 2 answers. I'm seeing 2 answers here. Okay, so does it, so that was the button. I wasn't sure if the button he was referring to has some sensors. What? Yeah. Okay, there's a button on the side. Okay. Hertz. Turn off or use. Depends on. Okay, so you can manually turn it on and off, but it does have like a sensor. So if you draw, so if like if you're running holstered, it'll be off, but the moment you draw it, it'll sense like the sudden change in movement, and it will turn on then. Okay, I like that. I do like that. Yeah, motion sensor. Yeah. So if it's like a motion sensor where if it's basically motion sensor detects it goes from holster position to a drawn position, it'll engage. Okay, I like that. I do like that.
Still held at 0. Not bad. So now how about racking the slide with one hand? In some of my law enforcement training, when we would do one-handed drills, we would rack our slide back using our rear sight, and we would use something like the back of our shoe or basically anything in the general area. How about this concrete block?
Hi, Albrecht.
No mag. Let's set this up like this. And now we'll just give it a few of these.
That's a good test. Wow. Okay, he's hitting this thing hard enough, it's actually chipping away at the concrete block. Look at that. He's hitting it hard enough to chip away the concrete. That's pretty fucking solid hits.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a big old crack.
Hello,
That ain't looking
fuck.
good.
Oh boy.
I can still see my dot though.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
see the dot.
Revan, yeah. That was a good test. That was absolutely a good test. And Messiege, thank you for the tier 1. He said you can still see the dot, but that's I mean, considering you have to actually apply pressure to the optic to rack the slide on that, because it's, that most people are going to grab the optic to rack the slide. That's it. Now, what I'd be really curious about is at what point did it crack the glass? Like, how many of those hits did it take to crack that glass? And he's saying that he can still see. Yes, no, Kanito, they do not. Glocks have like a triple internal safety mechanism in them, specifically so that if you drop them, they will not discharge. The Glock purposely built their integral safeties so they will not ND. Well, not even ND, but they will not discharge if you drop them. Glocks are crappy SIGs. Revan, are you a SIG fanboy? Are you a SIG? Oh, Art. Okay, I was gonna say, Revan, I did not peg you for a SIG fanboy. That's why I was wondering why you said that. Really, Machinist? Why do you hate Glocks? Why? Yes, correct, Blood Rose. Why do you hate Glocks, Machinist? Like, I've only fired a Glock once, and I liked it. Well, okay, Kanito, most pistols these days don't come with a manual safety. The vast majority of them don't these days, honestly. Thanks, Trey. So, okay, so your problem, Machinist, is that you don't like the design of the grip because you tend to get bit, and you don't like the external safety. But again, it's most firearms, most handguns these days don't really have. I'd say at least 50 to 75% of handguns don't have a mechanical safety. That's the majority of them. Like I've fired a Glock before. I enjoyed it. I think I mentioned this to you guys. I was able to test fire 3 different firearms to see which one I liked best. One was a Smith & Wesson. I forget the model. One was a Beretta. Again, I forget which model it was. And one was a Glock. It was a Glock 19. Not current Glock 19. It was an older Glock 19. And although I was iffy about the feel of the Glock, I shot better with the Glock than any of the other 2. Green Matter, it's possible. It was the Smith & Wesson, it came with swappable grips. That's the one thing I remember about it, is it came with swappable grips that you could actually change the physical dynamic of the grip to make it like slimmer or thicker if need be. I still get the model of it though. But at the time I shot, I was iffy about the Glock. I actually shot better with the Glock than the other 2 firearms. Okay, so it was an M&P. So yeah, it was an M&P. M&P. Again, I don't remember what model the Beretta was. The Beretta I shot worse with. The SIG I did, or the Smith & Wesson I shot okay with, but the Glock I shot the best. Now, it doesn't beat my Kimber. I still, shoot better with the Kimber, especially straight out of holster, but I shot very I not the one in this 3 firearm test. It was not the 92. I have fired the 92. I'm pretty good with the 92. But in this particular test, it was not the Beretta 92. I don't remember the model of it. Honestly, I cannot remember the model of the Beretta. It was smaller than the 92. But I don't. It was. It could have been the APX, gray matter. It's possible it may have been the APX, but again, this was some time ago, and I don't quite recall the specific model. But again, I still love my Kimber out of more than any of them, but the Glock I shot very well with.
Actually, hold on. I need to rack around in, right? Need to get around in there. Hold on. All right. Here we go.
He's still accurate, even with the broken optic.
And I've fired a 12 gauge. My late parents owned a more than 100-year-old double-barreled 12 gauge.
Well, so, cool. No, but buddy, I'm in Canada. I have not gotten to play with any modern pistols in quite some time.
Could still see my dot, but I don't know if you can see through there.
And that.
The front of that optic is all cracked. That's not good. But I will say this. That is not normal day-to-day wear and tear. And I did rack it on the cinder block a bunch. But what if you were trying to clear out
unfortunately
a
not,
jammed
Zeb.
round or something like that? Maybe you were. Maybe you're in the heat of the moment. I don't know. Regardless, that glass cracked. But still held my 0. Still hitting the target. I guess I'll rack it against steel next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks about the same.
Bang, 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 bang. Okay, he's shooting at an angle now.
Can still hit the target. Just so you know, the gun is empty. There's no mag, so don't freak out. You can see there, we are all messed up. But
Yahtzee.
I can still see my dot. Still perfectly fine. All my buttons still work. It's still attached to the gun. It's not wiggling or anything like that. And I'm still holding 0. So all things.
You know what? Shattered glass aside, that's still impressive. Not only that still works, it's maintained 0. It's like, yeah, granted the glass is broken, so, visualizing through the optic with broken glass might be a bit of a challenge, but the red dot is still 0'd. He's still 0 on target. That's and the physical optic itself is still in good shape. I am impressed.
Things considered, it's pretty good. I mean, if I was taking really good care of my gun on a daily basis and I got into some sort of scenario where this was required, at least I know that thing will still work. It'll still run. But now my question is, with it cracked like that, what happens if some water gets in there? Hey, look! Some water! I'm gonna let that sit there for 5 minutes. Seems fair.
A few moments later.
5 minutes. Ow! Dang it!
You should have known that was gonna happen.
Worse than wet socks. If you can think of anything worse than wet socks, let me know in the comment section down below. Let's see here. This is an enclosed optic, and it was supposed to be submergible up to like 80 feet, but that is without cracked glass. Oh, that's not looking good. That's not looking good at all.
Did water get in?
Wipe it off at least.
Did water get in?
Okay, that's better. So all things considered, I'm actually pretty impressed because even with all of those cracks, water didn't, no. No, there is some water in there. So it does look like there is a little bit of water in there. Which, I mean, I cracked the glass, so what do you expect? But even with that little bit of water, it still seems to be functioning. Now, once it was in the water for more than 5 minutes, I mean, maybe after 24 hours, there would be more in there. That may be a different story, but as of right now, you know, this thing is still functioning and working just fine. Not half bad.
You know what? I mean, this is key thing to think about here. You're in an extreme situation where if you need to use your firearm, you're in a combat situation, and you need to use the firearm, the firearm will still function as it was designed, optic and all, until you are able to get out of the situation, and then you can go have it repaired. This is it. It's still working as advertised, even with the broken glass, even with those few droplets of water. It's still working as advertised. So if you get into this extreme situation where you've broken the front glass on your sight, it's dropped in the water and you've had to retrieve it and still re-engage with it, the firearm will still work. You can still utilize it in the engagement. Get out of the engagement, and then you can go and take it and get it repaired. So this is still a really good testament to, even when it gets beat to shit and slightly damaged, it will still function and save you in a firearm engagement situation. It still works. And even the optic is still working in and of itself. Despite the fact that the front glass is broken, the optic is still functioning. You can still sight with it. Your sight picture might be a little wonky because of the broken glass, but the red dot is still zeroed. You can still, you know, it still works. And it will still work in this situation until you can get out of it and then facilitate repairs. I'm impressed. Color me impressed on this. You know what that just reminded me of, chat? Remember when, in my days as a very newbie VTuber reacting to gun tubers, when Matt did that with the, what was it? The really cheap piece of shit. I forget what model. I forget what gun he was using. When Matt did that, the high point. The high point. Thank you. Yeah, when Matt was torture testing the high point, and he did exactly that, and I went, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Oh my God, that's so unsafe. Oh my, like Matt is so unsafe. I don't know about this." And look where I am now, and look where he is now. To think that was what, 6 months ago? That I just was, I'm so used to shooting at a range in a more controlled environment, and I don't just run around, you know, in the backcountry playing with guns like these gun tubers could do. And to think about when it was 6 months ago, I would have been like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And now I'm just like, he's having fun. It's cute. And hi, Jenny. Hello. How far we've come, chat. How far we've come.
They're looking okay. Let's keep going. Before we start our next test, just to show you, this is completely unloaded. I am putting a mag in it, but I am not chambering around.
Tackleberry.
Yes. Yes, Tackleberry.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, we're about halfway through, Jenny.
What happens when it gets ran over? But I'm more concerned about the optic. I know that this gun will be just fine if we run it over. But how about
He's
that
going
optic
to.
on top. Let's line up just the optic.
Okay, I can easily make this prediction. It's gonna be fine. The optic will probably be fine. Yes, Jenny, he's stress testing a new Glock, the 8 cut, that has a built-in optic. Hang on, I'll back it up so you can see it. This particular Glock has a built-in optic. It comes with it. This comes built into the Glock when you buy it. It's a package thing. And he's already beat the hell out of it. And actually cracked the glass, but the optic is still, the red dot is still maintained 0. It even got a few droplets of water when he submerged it for 5 minutes. It is still maintained 0. So, it's kicking ass. And honestly, I don't even think I don't even know if it's gonna be buried just by running it over. But it's like, okay, you have a rubber tire that's gonna flex when it goes over it. It's muddy ground. This is not gonna do anything to it. Absolutely nothing.
Just the optic with that tire first.
Yeah, they are, Jenny.
Oh.
Yeah, it just pushed it in the ground.
Okay.
It's fine.
Let's have a look at that.
No big deal.
Yeah, that's in there good, huh?
It's probably fine.
You just got jammed.
Oh.
Where's that dot at? There it is. Okay, so dot is still
Got it.
working. And still holding at 0, I guess.
Nice.
Somewhat. Enough for me to hit that steel target over there.
Nice. I mean, this thing is selling me, honestly. Switch between the 1 and the 19X for carry. Nice, Jenny. Nice. Between the 17 and the 19X. Nice. Jenny, you probably, I don't think you're as my preferred carry back when I could before I moved to Canada was the Kimber Ultra Carry. The Kimber Ultra Carry was my biddy. I love that gun and I miss it.
Over there at about 40 yards away. Just put that right there. Okay.
Again? Oh, okay, that's a good
see
test.
about
I think
that.
it'd be fine.
Oh! It's quite a bit of mud. That was okay, but I think we can do better. I guess I'm gonna kind of go. Let's go
too.
like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kaibo, but yes, people love the full-size Kimber Eclipses. I am small. I have small hands. Kimber Ultra Carry is perfectly sized for my small hands. Hi, Andy.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
That's a bit caked.
Let's see how that does. Get this
Oh, boy.
glass cleaned off a little bit. I can still see the dot. Looks like I turned my brightness down a little bit. Now my gun's all gummed up. Let's see here. Oh.
Is it in the breach?
Okay, I've got quite a bit of mud
Go throw
all
it in the
inside
river.
this. I'm going to
Then throw it in the
wash
river.
that out real quick because there's no way I'm going to be able to get a round of fire right now. That is some cold water. Holy cow, that's cold. Okay,
Throw
so
it in the
I had
river.
to rinse this thing off because I got way too much mud inside of it when we peeled out on it. But it was actually a good thing because now we can really see the details on this optic where it's
Ooh,
been
wow.
beat up today. I will say
Okay,
the inside
okay.
there
No,
seems to
buddies,
be
I have
fogging
not.
up a little bit, and most likely
Oh.
that's because
Ooh, okay. Now we're seeing the first of where you could be having an issue. He doesn't look bad, but it's fogging up. It's still trucking, but there's moisture that's being allowed inside that's allowing the glass to fog up, and now you have no sight. Now you don't have sight picture. That's a problem. Exactly. If the cracks in the glass are allowing humidity in and there's no way to clear that. Revan, no, it's not, because if you can see the red top, that's fine. You want to make sure you have a good sight picture on whatever you're trying to shoot. And if your sight picture is blurred from the humidity and the moisture inside the optic, that's a problem. It's not a be-all, end-all problem. No, Matt, I don't think it's gonna short it out. I do not believe it's gonna short it.
Just put it in some rice overnight and it'll be fine.
Fuck, Nito. By the way, no, don't do that. That is a fallacy. Do not put electronics in rice. That does not actually help. It only damages your electronics. Yeah, you're talking about, like, right here? Are you talking about, Jenny, are you talking about the back plate right here on the left side? Yeah, that's probably from him beating the hell out of it. Potentially it can. Well, it looks like the moisture on the inside is possibly restricted to the back glass. So I'm not entirely sure that it'll cause refraction of the red dot on the rear glass. And the side and the side back plate. Oh, yeah. I see what you're talking about, like right here. You're talking about right there. Yeah, it's there's definitely some issues going on right there. Yeah, let's see how it does.
And most likely that's because I have broken the glass and water has gotten inside of it. But I can still see my dot. It's not as crisp because of the fog. Will it fire?
Yeah. Oh, it'll fire. We know it'll fire. Got a hit.
Okay.
Doesn't sound as solid though. Those hits didn't sound quite as solid as his previous ones. I'm wondering if he was slightly off center. Like, he's been aiming center mass this whole time. I'm wondering if those two shots were off to the side of the steel target, because they didn't have as solid of a P as the other ones did.
So, we ran it over and we peeled out on it, but that was on mud. Very soft, very forgiving. What if your gun was laying on something that's not so forgiving? So now I have a steel plate.
Yeah, honestly, actually, the Glock would probably be handled. It's actually better if it was on solid ground versus mud ground. Because on solid ground, if he was on like pavement and did this, it would actually be in better shape. Because you're not forcing mud and liquid into the Glock and into the optic. The tire is still rubber. The tire is going to flex up against the optic. So, being on solid ground, you're going to be in better shape than if you have it in the mud, because you have nothing to clean off. And you didn't hear crunch, you heard the grits of the mud sliding.
Let's see if my buttons still work. That's a concern. Let's see here. Where's my dot? Okay. Having trouble finding the dot. I don't see the dot. I bet you I turned it off. Yep. It got turned down, so the dot is still on. I can see it. I don't know if you can. Oh,
it's crushing with a ton of car. However, they're rubber tires. And the rubber tire will flex when it goes over something. So you've got the weight of it, but the rubber is conforming rubber's kind of flexing, conforming around the pistol. And the weight isn't actually all that much of a concern. Because this is not like a fragile piece of glass. This is basically a hunk of metal. It's not going to hurt it. And again, you're not shoving this into mud which can then seep into cracks. If it's on solid ground, it's actually going to be better if it's on solid ground versus mud, because you won't have the mud going into all the cracks and the crevices.
Mud all inside here again. How did that even happen? No, it's not going to chamber around. I managed to get mud in the chamber, so stand by.
A few moments later.
Got all the mud cleaned off of it again, and it doesn't look like there's much new damage to this. Looks about the same.
Oh man. Look at that right there.
One fantasy
that's
gun
torn up.
I would like to own is an integrally suppressed FN57 with the ability to temporarily disable electronics.
What kind of gun is that?
Looks about the same. I can still see my dot.
Okay.
Still hit a target. Looking okay. Well, at this point, I have to admit, I'm actually pretty impressed with this optic on this Glock 19.
Yeah.
It's held up to quite a bit of torture, way more wear and tear than I would normally put on my gun and an optic. But that wasn't the point of today's video. The point was, if I had this, and this is all I had in a poop hit the fan scenario, would it be able to hold up, and would I still be able to use it and use it the way it was intended? And so far, I mean, it is pretty beat up, and my glass is cracked, and it's a little foggy right now, but I can still use it. It is still working, and the dot is still just fine. That being said, this is Kentucky Ballistics, and I have to take it
Here we go.
at least one step further. I'm going to smack it with this sledgehammer. Once, maybe twice, if this thing is still on the gun, and if this thing is still working, and if I can still hit a target with it, I will probably make this my new carry gun. And I'll step into the future finally and carry a red dot. I am going to sideswipe.
Is he gonna do it?
That is one question I have too still, is yes, this is locked in this way, but what about side to side? Oh, that was a good hit. It went right into the mud. This thing just loves mud today.
How'd it do?
See, where did I hit? I hit this side. Smacked it on this side. Smacked it pretty hard.
No, wait. I see no change. That was a good hit. And I don't see much change here. I really don't. That's impressive.
Hard. Still on the gun. Real good.
Maybe? I don't know. I don't think it did.
I can still see the dot. It is...
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it would work.
A little funky because of the glass being broken, but...
Yeah, that's it, just because the glass broke.
I can still make it out.
Bear in mind, it's only that did not break the rear glass. The sledgehammer hit from the side did not break the glass. The glass is still only broken because of his concrete test, where he was racking the slide multiple times from the concrete. The rear glass is still fine. Look at that.
Back it on top one time, just right there.
Oh God!
Just bonk. Yeah, that's a pretty good hit. Yep. But it still looks okay. Still looks fine. And the dot's still on.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, one last hit. Gonna go right here, right on my buttons, right on my control buttons for brightness.
Oh boy, he's gonna Gallagher it.
And this is a Harbor Freight safe that we destroyed. And this is gonna be metal on metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the one right there. Look at the dent that I put in this piece of metal right here. Now, this is a Harbor Freight gun safe. It's not the thickest metal, but it's pretty thick metal. Boy, I whacked it good.
I see it.
You know what? I'm not really sure if I hit it. Let's give her one more. One more.
Boy.
Right on the buttons.
Wow. Wow. Oh, we killed the whole fucking guy. Oh my god, he broke the whole look at look at this face. Look at his face right now.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Okay, I have to rewind that. I have to rewind that.
Right on the buttons.
Hang on, I want to frame by frame that. I need to frame by frame that. That's not the hit. Hang on. Here we go. Oh, man.
The funny part? I bet the optics are still perfectly fine.
I bet you're right. 'Cause you know what? I don't think he hit the optic. I think he was low. I don't think he actually hit the optic. I think he hit it on the point between the slide and the grip. And that's why it shattered. He was low. He might have barely clipped the optic on the low end. I don't think he even hit the optic. Oh, man.
Well, that's it. Well,
It still functions. Wait. It still functions? He was able to reassemble it and it still functions. Holy shit! No apps! He was able to reassemble it and it still functions. Holy shit! Okay. That's impressive. That's very impressive.
back together just fine. Trigger's not resetting.
Oh.
Okay. I can still see a dot. Do the buttons still work? That's a question. Do they still work? These buttons
Yeah,
still work. Uh-oh. Wait. Where's the dot? There it is. Okay. Yeah, buttons still work. After beating
Wow.
a sledgehammer on a metal safe, the buttons still work. Now my glass it's busted. It is busted.
Yeah.
Back here is even kind of cracked now.
I
Just a
finally
little bit.
cracked the rear
this wouldn't
glass.
be a big deal if I got my starting weapons technology and gunsmithing at SCI. Link in the description down below. Let's go back to our original distance, which was about right here.
Considering the trigger's not resetting, I'm kind of surprised he's live firing this by hand. Given that he said that the trigger's failing to reset, I kind of figure he would have put this in a lead sled. At the very least, I hope he's... Well, yeah, no kidding, Tybo. Okay, I know it's only 9 mil. I realize this, but... Safety.
It's about 15 yards. I can see 2 dots. Let's go with the bottom one. Okay. Seems like the bottom one's okay.
Hey?
Trigger did not reset.
You just got jammed.
Seems like we are having some trouble.
Uh-huh.
I think it's just because it's muddy.
You just got jammed. You just got jammed.
It's dedication to the bit.
Issues here. It may be hard for you all to see, but I'm kind of getting 2 dots, and that's probably because this is all broken and shattered now. And the Glock seems to be having a little bit of trouble functioning. It could have something to do with being smacked with a sledgehammer multiple times.
You would think so.
In a poop hit the fan scenario, I don't know how frequently that would happen, but it could. So the question is, after all of that torture today, what are my thoughts?
Very likely,
and would
Reverend.
I
At this
carry
point,
this?
yes.
And I'm going to go with, yeah, I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to get a different one. I'm probably not going to carry this one, but I think I have fallen in love with the Glock 19 with the aim point COA. It held up to quite a bit. Yes, it is cracked and busted and beat up quite a bit, but it held up pretty well, I think. Most likely, I am not going to experience that much torture to my gun, even in a poop hit the fan scenario.
No, very likely not.
What did you think about it, though? Let me know in the comment section down below if you enjoyed today's video.
Another one I would like to own if someone were to bring into real life would be the BFG 9000.
Of course you would. What Space Marine wouldn't want the BFG?
Give it a like, and if you're not subscribed to Kentucky Ballistics, make sure you hit that
Reverend,
subscribe
it's
button.
to shit.
Also,
You'd
be
have
sure
to
and
get
check
it
me out
fixed.
on all other social media platforms. Links to those can be found in the description down below, along with a link to KentuckyBallistics.com, just in case you want to pick up a shirt. And as always, my name is Scott. Thank you so much for watching Kentucky Ballistics. I'll see you next time.
Wow. I mean, I can't have one, unfortunately, because of where I am, but you know what? I'm fucking sold. I'm absolutely sold on that. Holy hell. That, like, the hell yes. That A-cut is beautiful.